Prima di tutto un grazie a tutti i media che ci stanno trasmettendo, compresa Radio Libertà, ma a presentare questo appuntamento per bene abbiamo chiamato un giornalista decisamente...
So we have here a journalist that is supporting us, Mario Giordano.
Io sono qui.
I'm here. I'm here because somebody wanted this that this event would not be organized. So it is wonderful to be here. I'm here because here ideas will be conveyed, expressed, and out there are people without ideas, and they will just prevent other people to express their ideas because they don't have any. I'm here. It is an honor for me to be here because I love freedom, and I love to be with those who love freedom. Freedom not to be afraid, freedom to say we're masters in our own home, freedom to pronounce the words that seem to be forbidden. So the freedom to say remigration, remigration, remigration. I'm here because they told us a lot of bullshit this year and over the years as well. They have been telling a lot of bullshit on immigration. They told us that migrants are a resource, that they would pay us our pensions. Which pensions? They are taking away the last council house. The immigrants are a resource for who? For mafia, for human traffickers, for business, for those active in the solidarity business. They are a resource for them. Immigrants are a resource for those who use immigration to give less money to workers and less rights to workers. This is why immigration has been used for. That was the greatest activity of destruction of workers' rights, and that is what immigration means. This is what it has been used for, and it is to destroy our rights. Towns are what they are and what you know they are. So it is dangerous to get on a train, to drive a car, to go out to walk the dog. It is dangerous and you cannot defend yourself because if the police or the carabinieri follow or detain a child because they want to search them, so they are condemned. I believe in Christian Europe. I believe in our roots, in the faith of our fathers and grandfathers. I cannot accept that in Europe churches disappear and mosques, sometimes illegal mosques, are built. I cannot accept that there are whole areas in Europe, in our wonderful Europe, the Sharia law is the rule, and this is something that goes against our history, our civilization, our heritage. It is an absurd law that is in favor of polygamy, of the veil, the submission of women. I cannot accept that in Brescia there is an imam who says that an adult can marry a 9-year-old girl because this is what the Quran says. It is a pedophile and it should be sent out, so it should be deported. I am here because I cannot accept that Europe does not fight against Islamism and the Islamic conquest. So in Poitiers in 1732, Lepanto 1571, Vienna 1683. we've always fought against Islam, the Islamic invasion, and now we are invaded through immigration, and we cannot fight this immigration, because if you fight against immigration, then they tell you that you're Islamophobic. I'm here because I'm not afraid to say that I want to defend Islamic, Christian Europe against Islamism. I don't want my children to go on their knees and pray Muhammad. So I'm here because I don't want to look on the to look somewhere else. I am a supporter of Europe. I want Christmas to stay Christmas and not become the winter holidays. I am not afraid of calling things for what they are. Europe should be able to call mom the mother and dad the father. So, and parent one and father two, parent two, this is bullshit, because you cannot. So in old Italian songs, so Gianni Morandi said, sung, send your mother, go to buy milk because your mother says so. So nobody talked about parent one and parent two. So there is a pink ribbon, a blue ribbon, and the rainbow ribbon is bullshit. So I'm here because I want to say that I don't want to live in this Europe I'm telling you about. I've been talking about the madness of Europe for 20 years now. This Europe that is destroying our countries, our families, our brains, that is manipulating us. It is a madness, the madness of green parties with their oil, wind systems, and this is bullshit. So Europe is only able to tell you, save energy, turn off your lights. Thank God we fought against that. Maybe we will win this battle. And Europe tried to impose flour from insects. We have our farmers, we have our tractors, we have our farmers, our farming industry. We want to live in Europe, in a Europe that is a traditional Europe. We cannot be the generation that destroys what our forefathers, our grandfathers conquered and defended, shedding blood. So this is why I'm here. I'm here for one last thing, because in the inner circles, those who are in the know, they say you should not shout, but I'm not one who belongs to the inner circles. I am a person, I want to talk to people, I want to shout, to make myself heard, and shout again, make yourself heard. We need to shout, we need to speak in a loud voice and say masters in our own home, and we need to shout remigration, remigration, remigration. We need to shout, say it out loud, to say out loud, masters in our own home. Let's defend our country. We need to be without fear, because if you do not speak out, then you're complicit.
Quanti argomenti per cambiare questa Europa. E io ora
Olympics to change Europe. And now I will introduce to you the team of people we are going to change Europe with. And we start with Estonia, with the president of EKRE, which is the Estonian Conservative People's Party, Martin Helme.
Ciao a tutti. Come va Milano? Boy, that's a hard act to follow. It is a great pleasure and an honor to be able to come here and share my thoughts on how to save Europe from its current path to complete disaster. Make no mistake, we as a civilization, as individual countries in our great, beautiful European and Christian civilization, face destruction that is no less dangerous than the last Muslim conquests of 8th century in Spain, 9th century in Sicily and southern Italy, or 16th century in the Balkans. Only this time, the conquest is happening because Europe has been taken over by political forces that side with the enemy. We all know who they are. These are the people who have, for decades, demanded that we on the right shut up, stop defending our national identity, safety and security of our countries. The people who tell us to meekly go along with their radical, far-left ideology of multiculturalism, tolerance toward the intolerant, that we accept indiscriminate violence against our own. We are being asked, no, actually we are being demanded to abdicate our duty towards our countries, our fellow man and our families. We have been threatened with a clear message. If we do not accept their evil and crazy ideas, we will be called a hater, a racist, a populist, or a radical. Sometimes all of it in one go. And too many decent people have allowed themselves to be pushed into that trap. But I ask you, which one is harder? To stay quiet and watch your country be destroyed, or to stand up against it, speak up against it, and be called bad names? I am sure people in this square find it impossibly difficult to watch their countries be taken over by those who hate us. Call us what you want, you lefty radicals. We actually have quite a few names for you too. But we know how to call ourselves. We are patriots. We are normals. We don't care about your labels. We don't accept your framing of issues. We are right and they are wrong. And they don't get to tell us who we are or what we have to think. We tell them. Of course, we know that the left never wins honestly. We know that they never play fair. We know that they count on our side being honorable and decent, and they have turned it against us. Well, it's time to change the game. Time to take charge. Because if we don't, we will lose our countries. We just witnessed a total takeover of one of the best examples of a proud, safe prosperous, sovereign country in Europe, a Hungary. We all know that this was not a fair election. European Commission interfered there with massive censorship on social media, massive financial interference, massive psychological manipulation. It was a sinister and brutal takedown of a sovereignist government, resulting in a de facto takeover by a foreign power through their collaborators inside. What follows will be easy to predict: a systematic liquidation of all the instruments of self-rule and a brutal assault on national identity. We patriots need to draw a clear line. There are people who work to destroy our freedoms and our wealth, our countries and our civilization. They destroy it through immigration, through net zero scam, through the destruction of a normal family, teaching to our children that there are dozens of different genders. No, there aren't. There is a mother and a father and their children, boys and girls, and nothing in between, nothing more. And then there are us normals, right-wingers, nationalists, conservatives, Christians, patriots in one word, who want their countries to be the way they have always been. Italy must stay Italian. France must stay French. Hungary, Hungarian, and Estonia, Estonian. That is the norm. And that is when our streets will be safe. People will be confident. Economies will work for you. Because only in a coherent nation state can trust and solidarity exist between different parts of the society. We have to say it clearly and forcefully. Those who are destroying our countries, and in most European countries they are in power, they are the enemies of the people. They are also enemies of freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, freedom of privacy, freedom of enterprise. They are as bad as a foreign army occupying us. We need to treat them no better than traitors. There can be no peaceful coexistence between those who want to destroy our countries and us who want to save our countries. And every single person in every single European country needs to make a decision which side he is on. We conservatives must not let the left tell us what we cannot or can say, what is right or wrong. We decide it for ourselves, without fear. Non solo senza paura, non abbiate paura. Grazie.
Siamo patrioti, vogliamo...
We are patriots. We want to change this Europe. Let's team up also with the Vice Governor of Lower Austria, Udo Landauer. Italy, hello Milan. Thank you for your strength and your courage. What a square and what a celebration of freedom and democracy. The patriots of Europe stand shoulder to shoulder with the people, and they are sending a clear message to Brussels. You can dictate and decide as much as you like, and decide as much as you like. In the end, the people will decide and present the bill, and those will be the good years for Europe, dear friends. And why are we here today? We are here for freedom, for security, for democracy, and for sovereignty. Because we want to decide for ourselves again, once again, what is good for our countries. And we do not need directives from a superior power in Brussels that not a single citizen of Europe has elected. We want a strong Europe, but not a European Union that governs against its own citizens. We need a European policy that acts as a shield for the nations of Europe. And we are here because we have the strength and the courage to say no. No to illegal mass immigration. No to Islamization. No to the destruction of our homeland. We are saying no to a European system that destroys prosperity and endangers peace. When I look at the crowd, well, I see these courageous people, courageous mothers and fathers, courageous workers, entrepreneurs and farmers, courageous Italians that are not afraid to stand up and speak their minds. For one thing is clear: if we do not defend our country, our homeland, others will do so, and we must not allow that to happen. We owe it to our parents and we owe it to our children. We together are fighting for a Europe that protects its citizens and consistently expels criminals, because for us, the protection and safety of our women and children is more important than the rights of criminal migrants. Zero tolerance instead of a welcome policy. That is what Europe needs. Our homeland, our traditions, our families, our democracy, our freedom and our security and safety. None of this is negotiable. It was not negotiable yesterday, not today, not tomorrow either. We patriots will never sacrifice our countries on the altar of the European Union. I'm here today because it is up to all of us to lead our nations towards a bright future, whether in Italy, Austria, France, the Czech Republic, or the Netherlands. Politics must serve the people, not Brussels. The people are in charge, dear friends. Today, I stand before proud Italians. I myself am a proud Austrian, and that is why it is my duty to do everything I can to ensure that our children can grow up in a safe country, in prosperity, in peace, in a better Europe, in a strong Europe. And in Matteo Salvini, there is a man in Italy who puts the interest of the Italian people first and foremost, and that is the DNA of us patriots. Our own country first, and only then comes the rest of the world. Our own people first, and then everyone else, only then. And look at this square. The Milan Cathedral behind us. It is a masterpiece of European history. It stands for centuries of faith, of labor and culture. It stands for the Europe we all love. Yet it is precisely this Europe that is in danger. The patriotic forces are the only guarantee that church bells will still ring tomorrow, and that the muezzin will not be calling out over our rooftops. We say yes to a Christian Europe and no to Islamization. Europe must once again be the master in its own house. Yes, we need a fortress Europe that protects its own people and turns Europe's enemies away. Yes, we need a strong Europe, a Europe that protects its borders, a Europe that makes its own decisions, that defends its citizens, a Europe of freedom, safety, security, and proud nations. That is what we are fighting for, and we will not stop until our children are once again living in a Europe that is strong, that is free, and above all, safe.
Le nostre identità, le nostre tradizioni.
Our identities and our traditions are not negotiable. And now we are going to listen to the best minister in his position ever. You know whom I'm talking about. The Minister for Education and Merit, Mr. Giuseppe Valditara.
Un saluto a tutti voi.
Good afternoon. I would like especially to say hello and greet all students and teachers from Europe and the staff of people working in schools, working for our future. This is the day of pride, the pride of a civilization which has given to the world freedom and democracy as universal values. Values that must be accessible to all who want to accept them and share them. Freedom of speech, freedom of enterprise, because enterprises are not entities that exploit, and the freedom of being owners of something. It is no sin to have a property. Freedom from fear, security and safety are rights, and freedom from need. A civilization which is based on Rome, Athens and Jerusalem, which are the identity pillars for us. Today is the day of the pride of our homeland, and we are called upon by the Constitution to defend it. Our country is made out of entities with a very long history, unparalleled in the world. Our patriotism is not an aggressive nationalism. We reject the war as a form of aggression because we do love peace. But we do love our home and our homeland. Look at this cathedral. Look at this wonderful cathedral. We love our roots. We love our identity. We respect our ancestors. Their sacrifices have made it possible for us to have this nation of ours. And this is a nation that decades ago decided in Europe to work with other countries, sharing our own values. And it is then the objective and the duty of Europe, instead of going for oppressive bureaucracy, to give the right norms and rules, to rediscover the values of the West and defend the values of our civilization. The West must stand united. We should never wage a war between the two sides of the Atlantic. Never should we do that. We love a civilization that has always been capable of welcoming those who want to be here and shape their future honestly together with us by accepting our laws. And racism was not part of that at all. And and we are saying that integration is not inclusion simply. It does not mean that we should accept everyone and everybody. The point is that they must share our way of living and our rules. Discrimination is not part of our DNA. Discrimination is part of the DNA of those who go for totalitarian regimes, dictatorships, and they include not only fascists, but also communists and also their followers and their descendants. We love a civilization that has been capable of recognizing their own mistakes, even when those making them had rejected the values of the West, centered on equality and human beings and law and the law. We belong to a civilization that has fought in order to give equality to both genders, and this is the reason why we stand for those genders. We do not accept other solutions. We do not accept to offend the dignity of women and men by saying that there is something else. We are a civilization that has managed to bring together responsibility, common and individual responsibility. We have to make room for both, and those making mistakes must meet their responsibilities. I would like to thank the Senate, the majority of the Senate in Italy, that despite the opposition's attempts to stop it, approved and passed the security decree, because we do not accept that people have knives on the streets or in the schools. Nor can we accept that our cities are devastated and destroyed during demonstrations. Our civilization has given to the world universal charters of rights, but also duties which are fundamental. And we go back to the Italian constitution that states that very clearly. We do not only talk about the right of working, but also the duty to work, because each citizenship should contribute to the civilian and moral progress of our nation. Those who live out of criminality, those who do nothing, are not welcome. We are the civilization that has conceived humanity, good faith and love and respect for others as pillars of our civil coexistence. We should be proud of whom we have been, of those values that we still voice today, for today and the future, our future and the future of our children and those coming after us. Thank you.
Patrioti, costruiamo un nuovo futuro.
Patriots, let's build a new future. We now have Tom van Grieken with us.
Ciao Milano, ciao Milano, Milano, look at your beautiful city. Look at the sky. Look at all the people in front of me. Patriotism has never been more alive than today. Grazie Salvini, grazie Lega, grazie Milano.
Dear friends, patriotism is not only alive here in Italy. No, the same patriotic fire burns in France, in Spain, in Austria, and of course in my country, Flanders. Across an entire continent, people are waking up. They're standing up against the men and women who have spent the last 30 years redesigning our home without asking our permission. Dear patriots, when did they actually ask us? When did they last ask us that our beautiful cities could be overrun by a tsunami of African immigrants? When did they ask you if we want our homes to be destroyed? When did they knock on your door and said, we're here to change your neighborhood, your school, your city? Of course they did not ask. They never asked because they already knew the answer. Our people don't want to be replaced. Our people don't want to be erased. Our people don't want to be silenced in the countries their forefathers fought for, not yesterday, not today, and not tomorrow. Dear friends, these people, these globalists, they are not the good guys. No, these people who look at your family and see it as a problem to manage. We patriots, we look at family and see the most sacred thing on earth. They look at faith and see superstition to be erased. We patriots look at faith and see it as the spine of our civilization. They look at the nation and see an obstacle in their global project. We patriots see at the nation as a home we're dying for. The globalists want to take all that away from you. They want to open your borders without asking. They want to shame your children. They silence our speech. They are not the good guys. They have never, ever been the good guys. Dear patriots, let it be loud and let it be clear. We will not be ashamed where we come from. We will not apologize for what we believe in because we are the good guys. We've always been the good guys and we're done being quiet about it. The good guys are here and the good guys are here to stay. Some people will say, Tom, good and bad, that's a bit complicated. Good and bad is a bit nuanced. But, dear friends, let me ask you a question. How can you be a bad guy when you put food on your family's table every night? How can you be the bad guy if you take care of your grandparents? How can you be the bad guy when you defend the weak? When you would die for your children, for your country, and for your God-given freedom? How can you be the bad guy when you do all of that? You cannot, my friends. Good versus evil has never been this clear. And we here today represent all the good of Europe. And yet, dear patriots, to be the good guys is not without cost. Because the night that they have created for us is dark. Dark when young women in Milan are afraid to walk home alone at night. Dark when a farmer is told to give up his land in name of green ideology. Dark when a teacher is afraid and can no longer speak freely because of Islam. Dark when a child in Brussels grows up not knowing who he is, where he comes from, or what he belongs to. Yes, my friends, the night is dark. But the darker the night, the brighter the stars. And my dear friends, the stars have never been so bright. Millions of patriots demand change in our streets. Leaders like Bardella, Wilders, Babis, Matteo Salvini have risen, stood, fight and fought. And fight we do, fight we'll always do. Dear friends, dear ladies and gentlemen, they call us populists. Good. The populace, the Latin for people, is exactly who we represent. They call us nationalists. Good. The nation is exactly what we're defending. They call us radical. Good, because radical change is what we need. A fighting for mothers and fathers, for the forgotten children of Europe, and for the nameless workers who have built this continent makes me a radical, makes me a nationalist or a patriot. Then so be it. I'm proud to be a radical, proud to be a nationalist, and proud to be a patriot. Dear friends, we are the descendants of greatness. Of the man who built the Milan Cathedral, who painted the Sistine Chapel, who sailed the edges of the world. We are the descendants of heroes. But we're also the descendants of those whose names history never remembered. Of the soldiers who fell. Of the forgotten workers who built our cities. Or the forgotten mothers and fathers who endured the hardship to uplift their children out of poverty. Their names were not carved in marble, nor were they crowned with laurels. And yet, everything we are rest upon of what they gave, their strength runs in our blood, their courage lives in our memory, their duty is our inheritance. For we are not the children of decline. We are the heirs of the greatest civilization on this planet has ever known. Together with all the patriots all over Europe, we will be the ones in charge tomorrow. So, my dear patriots and brothers and sisters, if they say it cannot be done, your answer will be, it will be done. And those who think they can stop us, hear me clearly. You can smear us, you can try to silence us, you can ban us from television or social media, but you cannot stop an idea whose time it has come. And the time of patriots of Europe has come. The time of proud European people has come. The time of Italy has come. Viva I patriots, viva Lega e viva una Flandria libera. Grazie.
Parole importanti.
Important words. Today, here we represent all that is good in Europe. And then watch the video of the President of Prime Minister of the Czech Republic and President of Anno 2011, Andrej Babis.
Dear friends, please allow me to warmly greet you on the occasion of the Patriots gathering at the beautiful Piazza del Duomo and express my apologies that due to other engagement, I couldn't come in person. The main theme in Milan today is clear: defending Europe, defending our borders, our sovereignty, our identity. Our common goal is a strong, confident, prosperous and safe Europe. A Europe that serves its citizens and protects their future. The Patriots for Europe stand for a Europe where external borders are firmly protected, whilst international freedom of movement remains preserved. Without secure external borders, there is no real security. Defending borders means defending Europe and the safety of those who live in it. Security is not negotiable. We stand for a Europe based on cooperation, not centralization. A strong Europe grows from strong and sovereign nations that freely choose to work together, not from distant bureaucracy deciding for everyone. A Europe where national interests are safeguarded through unanimous decisions making. We want a Europe proud of its identity, history, culture, and citizens. Because without identity, there is no community. And without community, there is no future. We need a Europe with affordable energy and competitive economy. Sustainability must be guided by common sense, not ideology, that weakens our industry and lowers living standards. And finally, we strive for a Europe that works for peace and stability, not for constant tensions and conflict. This is the message that brought us together in Milan today. It is a message that resonates with millions of Europeans who simply want to live in safety, stability, and prosperity. We as patriots are not fighting against Europe. We are fighting for Europe as a civilization, for its culture, its democracy, its traditions, and above all, for better lives of our children and grandchildren. I wish you a successful gathering in Milan.
Prova. Difendiamo i nostri.
Let's defend our borders, patriots. Let's team up also with Greece. So President Tofoni Logikis, Afroditi Latinopoulou.
Amici italiani, amici patrioti. I'm very happy and proud to be once again here with you, together with the patriots who are changing Europe and steering it to the right direction. I'm even happier to be in a country that has a right-wing movement, government led by my friend and great fighter, Matteo Salvini. For years, we have been under attack for our ideals and our values because we want to keep our homelands clean and safe. Our opponents have a lot of money, many media channels, many NGOs, and also the tolerance, if not support, of the leadership of Brussels to spread their propaganda. But above all, they have their useful idiots the delusional leftists who label anyone who supports common sense and true facts as fascist to silence us. Do you love your country and say that nations have borders? You are a fascist. Do you love your family and believe that a family consists of a mother, a father, and children? You are a fascist. Do you love Christ and declare yourself Christian? You are a fascist. This narrative has expired. You are the fascists. The ones who react like vampires when they are sprinkled with holy water, when you hear the words which are sacred to us: nation, religion, family. For decades now, dear friends, a crime has been taking place before our very eyes. The dismantling of our nations, orchestrated by the left, the cancer of Europe and the West. How many years have you tolerated raising your flag and being called fascists? How many years have you tolerated making the sign of the cross and being called extremists? How many years have you tolerated supporting the traditional family and being called homophobic? How many years have you tolerated questioning illegal immigration and being called Islamophobic? Enough is enough. All of this ends now. With clear-cut words, with firm positions, and with determination. Fear is over. Silence will be replaced by our voice, which will defend our values and ideals until our final victory. Nation, religion, family. But this battle will not be easy. Millions of illegal immigrants have already settled in our homelands, and we are feeding them with the money of our families. Our schools have already become centers of brainwashing for the LGBTQ agenda. Theater and the cinema have already become tools of the left to poison the minds of our children. Our neighborhoods have already become crime zones with citizens, women and children falling victim to rape and harassment by every Mahmoud and Mehmet. And all of this because the left and the elite that finances it have one goal: to dismantle the foundations of our nations, erase the heritage of our ancestors, and fully control and influence the next generations. We will not surrender a single young person, not a single child born today, to this madness. We will not allow this child gathering any longer. Islam out of our countries. Out. End the woke propaganda, closed borders, deportations, more prisons, strict policing, reconsideration of the death penalty for child rapists, and heinous crimes. We will wipe their political correctness off our shoes. We will save our nations. We are patriots, we are Christians, we are family people, and we will cure the cancer called the left once and for all. If they want green energy, let them pay for it themselves. If they want flotillas to defend Hamas and Hezbollah, let them pay for themselves. If they want NGOs for illegal immigrants, let them fund them from their own pockets. If they like illegal immigrants, let them take them into their homes. And if they like the veil, the hijab, and Sharia law, let them leave Europe and go live in Pakistan and Afghanistan, the places they admire so much. We will even give them one-way ticket. Billions from our pockets have been spent on the so-called integration of gypsies and the so-called integration of millions of illegal immigration. They cannot be integrated, and we do not want them. The bureaucrats who want them should pay for them by themselves. These tens of billions of euros must go to young European couples, to new mothers, to single-parent families, and to all families for real support of demographics, not to Abdul and Mohammed, as is happening today, who are funded to reproduce rapidly, altering the homelands we were born into. We are tired of unelected bureaucrats deciding about our lives. We are tired of politicians who are afraid to speak the truth. We are tired of the media that silence anyone who disagrees with them and try to impose Islam on us. And anyone who dares to speak is targeted and often murdered. This was, is, and always will be socialism. State intervention everywhere, so that the citizen depends on the government and does not dare to speak. High taxation, a few privileged, bureaucracy, slow justice, cartels, and handout vouchers for the many. These are the orders from Brussels, and those who follow them, instead of being leaders in their countries, have become puppets of the new world order. And within all this darkness in Europe, there is the light of the patriots. True leaders who did not betray their values. We are here together with Matteo Salvini, Bardella, Geert Wilders, and also those not present today, Marine Le Pen and Viktor Orban, who was attacked more than most by the European establishment, but never backs down and is always on the front lines to steer Europe toward the safe harbor of our values. And we are no longer afraid. We will not apologize for loving our country. We will not apologize for believing in God. We will not apologize for wanting our children safe. This is who we were and who we will become again with God's help. This is the end of fear. This is the end of tolerance. Our countries will be passed on to our children and our grandchildren, clean and safe. Piazza pulita in tutta l'Europa, in ogni quartiere. Piazza pulita e via. Neanche un passo indietro. Grazie. Grazie mille.
Avete sentito? I nostri soldi e potenti corazzate di informazione. Dobbiamo fare più squadra con i nostri alleati europei. Vogliamo urlare
Together our allies in Europe. We want freedom. Freedom. So we have now another video, which is a video message. The president of Vox, Santiago Abascal.
Amigos de Lega y querido Mateo, es un honor poder saludaros en un día tan importante para vosotros. Me habría encantado acompañaros, pero no ha podido ser. España atraviesa un momento muy difícil que nos afecta a todos los patriotas de Europa. El gobierno criminal de Pedro Sánchez ha regularizado a más de medio millón de inmigrantes ilegales. Las consecuencias son conocidas para todos y las va a padecer toda Europa. Es un efecto llamada que no tiene precedentes, un efecto llamada a la inmigración ilegal brutal, para que sigan viniendo a las calles de España y de Europa sin ser invitados. Un colapso planificado. Por eso es muy importante que los patriotas nos mantengamos unidos, protegiendo nuestras fronteras, como ha hecho Matteo y el Gobierno de Italia, protegiendo nuestra soberanía y nuestras calles de quienes quieren destruir lo que somos. Europa no puede perecer y para ello necesita la fuerza de los patriotas. Adelante Matteo, adelante amigos de Lega y adelante patriotas. ¡Viva Italia y viva España!
patrioti di Piazza Duomo.
Patriots, this is the time of the president of the Party for the Freehead, Geert Wilders.
Tutto bello a Milano? Viva Milano, viva Matteo Salvini. Matteo, my friend, congratulations with your recent victory over these crazy prosecutors in Italy. No one will ever silence Matteo Salvini. And no one will ever silence you. You are the thunder of liberty. It's also a pleasure for me to stand here in the land of Oriana Fallaci. Sono una fan di Oriana Fallaci. She was the greatest Tuscan of our age. She was a prophet herself. She warned us, and I quote, she said, Europe is no longer Europe. It's Eurabia, a colony of Islam. She warned us, and I quote her, in each of our cities lies a city run by the Quran. She warned us, and I quote again, if we don't defend ourselves, jihad will win. And it will destroy the world that we, our parents, and we ourselves have built. She said all this a quarter of a century ago, and so did I. And today, the tragedy we predicted has become a reality. Our people, the original inhabitants of Europe, have been hit by a tsunami of mass immigration, illegal immigration, mostly from Islamic countries. Look at the map. All over our countries, asylum-seeking centers are built. Half of the sexual crimes are committed by the non-indigenous people. Look at Milano. Once the economic engine of Italy, now known as the so-called baby gang capital, terrorized by criminal mobs of young immigrants. And I tell those immigrants, we will expel you. You will have to leave. What would Oriana Fallaci, if she would have lived today, what would she have said? And I tell you, I repeat a message from her book, The Rage and Pride. She would say, people, wake up. Svegliati, wake up. Like the Pope John Paul II said already in 1978. Be not afraid. Non abbiate paura. And we tell Europe, do not despair. So let them hear your voice. Milan is yours and not from Islam. Italia is a Christian country and will never become an Islamic country. Niente più Eurabia. That's what we say. No more Eurabia. My friends, there is a reason for this. Our civilization is the greatest achievement in human history. It's the fruit of centuries of struggle and sacrifice by European ancestors. It is here that the ideals of democracy and human rights were invented, defended, and realized. The city-states of Lombardy and Tuscany are the cradle of science, of art, of unprecedented prosperity. We created societies where individuals were not crushed but elevated, where the freedom of speech is sacred, where innovation was not feared but encouraged, where fatalism was replaced by optimism and hope. Our ancestors rejected submission. Liberty became the lifeblood of our society, and we want it to stay that way. Liberty is our birthright, and we will never give it in. And Islam and liberty are incompatible. And all this, my friends, we owe to the Judeo-Christian values. The Duomo here is a symbol of this legacy. It calls not only on us to remember what we have built, but also what we have to protect. It symbolizes everything we have. In its shadow we stand. And for its sake, for the sake of our people, we have to stand by the women and the girls of our country. My friends, I read in the Italian press today that 2 Dutch girls from Holland were raped on this place yesterday by 2 African young men. And I tell you, we have not to accept it again. We have to totally stop the immigration from Islamic countries. No more. Not one. No more. And every criminal, everybody who wants to act like the Sharia law should be expelled from our countries. Because our roots are here in Rome, in Athens, in Jerusalem, and not in Mecca. The Renaissance began here in northern Italy. Let the new Renaissance together, let we start the new Renaissance here today. People want sanity. They want their national borders closed for illegal immigrants. They want security for their family, for their wives, for their daughters. And we, the United Patriots of Europe, we will give it to them. We have enough of the multiculturalism. We have enough of woke ideology. We have enough of Palestinian flag-waving activists trashing our universities. We have enough of the Islamization of our homes. Across Europe, our patriotic movement is surging. We are the hurricane of freedom. So please, my friends, continue. Make sure and be honest to your children. Tell them that our Christian values will never be replaced by the barbaric Islamic extremism. Islamic and Islamism does not belong to us. Together, we have to form the new League of Lepanto. Together, we will restore the Judeo-Christian heritage. Together, we should not be afraid, be proud, and free again. Long live Lombardy. Long live Lega. Long live Matteo. Long live the Netherlands. And long live you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Patrioti di Piazza Duomo.
Patriots of the Duomo Square from the country of Oriana Fallaci. So we say we cannot be the capital of baby gangs. So Matteo's coming. Get ready. But in the meantime, let's team up. Let's team up for those who belong to our team from France, the president of the Rassemblement National, Geert Bardella.
Cari amici,
Dear friends, dear Matteo, dear patriots of Italy and all Europe, it is a pleasure and also a great honor for me to be here with you today in Milan, in Piazza del Duomo. We stand before this majestic cathedral, which has been soaring towards the sky for centuries. It is living proof of the Christian faith, of the greatness of the Italian people. It is also here, in Lombardy, one of Europe's most powerful regions, that the heart of working Italy beats, of Italy that produces, innovates, and exports to the world. Here, every day, for generations, thousands of industrialists, artisans, traders, and workers have built the prosperity of this region, and through it the strength of the entire Italian nation. This very Italy, which works and never bows its head, has found, to defend it, a proud and patriotic man who has never betrayed it. This man, a free man, a courageous man, is our friend, Matteo Salvini. Matteo is a man who took action when others were merely making speeches. When he was Minister of the Interior, he protected Italy's borders. He closed the ports to ships of the NGOs. He courageously halted the landings of illegal migrants. For this reason, he was relentlessly attacked by the far left, dragged before the magistrates and accused of having done what was his duty. Today, the Italian courts have completely acquitted him, and well, I'd like to tell you that his battle is not just his own. It is our battle, your battle. It is the battle of all European peoples who refuse to give in the face of mass immigration. Italian friends, I have come to bring you a message from France. Between France and Italy, there is more than a border. We share history. There is a culture we share. There are two peoples who love one another. We are two great European nations, two proud peoples, two deeply rooted peoples without whom Europe would not be Europe. More than 2,000 years ago, Rome gave Europe its laws, its order, its very idea of civilization. It inspired what we still are today. Several centuries later, when Europe was in doubt, when the world was emerging from darkness, it was Italy once again that showed the way. The Renaissance was born here. It crossed the Alps. It nourished France. It inspired its kings and our artists, our builders. Thus, it helped make my country what it has become, what it is now. So I know that here in Italy, you watch France closely with a feeling of friendship, at times also with concern. Dear friends, I know that France's fate is not a matter of indifference to you. So here in Milan, I have come to reassure you. Our victory in the upcoming presidential election is near. And we are getting ready to say goodbye, Macron. With Marine Le Pen, we are waging an existential battle to make France a great power again and to allow our people to rediscover the pride of being French. Now, here I want to tell you this. A victory for the Rassemblement National in France will not merely be a French victory, will be a victory for all European nations. In the European Parliament, where I have the honor of serving as president of our group, we champion a clear vision, that of a Europe of nations, a Europe that respects its peoples, a Europe that protects them. 2 years ago, in the European elections, a powerful wave swept across the continent, a patriotic and popular wave which enabled us to become the main opposition force to Ursula von der Leyen and the Brussels Commission. Every single day, we demonstrate that a different Europe, another Europe is possible. Today, thanks to you, thanks to the work we are carrying out together, the balance of powers in Brussels is shifting. I'm thinking in particular, I'm thinking of the automotive industry, which here in northern Italy is threatened by bureaucratic decisions. With these absurd regulations, von der Leyen wanted to brutally impose a ban on the sale of new cars with combustion engines without taking industrial realities into account, without taking your jobs or your factories into account. We are opposed to this. We oppose this resolutely. We fought, and in the end, thanks to us, thanks to Lega, thanks to Rassemblement National, they had to back down. My friends, my dear friends, this victory must serve as a lesson. Nothing is decided in advance. Nothing is inevitable. When people rise up, then they take back their power. What we have achieved in the automotive sector, for the automotive industry, we must do everywhere, in farming, in agriculture, to defend those who fear us against unfair competition. In the energy sector, to ensure affordable prices for our businesses and our families. In the immigration area, to finally regain control of our borders. To conclude, dear friends, allow me to leave you, clarify things for you with an image and a story that everybody can understand. Centuries ago, when this cathedral was built here in Piazza Duomo, nobody saw the finished work. It took generations of Italians who laid stone upon stone to finish the work. Artisans, laborers, builders, some of them began the work, others continued it, still others finished it. They did not work just for themselves. They worked for their children, for their people, and for eternity. Today, several centuries later, we stand here before their work, before what they did, what they accomplished. And this means one very simple thing. When people know who they are, when they have roots in the land, in their homeland, when they do not give up, they last through time. So yes, our battle is demanding. It calls for courage, but let us do exactly the same thing as they did. Let us build for the future of our countries. Let us build for the future of our children. Let us build for a Europe of the people. So without fear in Europe, as in our own homes, let us continue this battle, because everywhere people are waking up, and because history always proves that those who do not surrender have the upper hand. Long live Salvini, long live Italy, long live France.
Europe is not the cage they built in Brussels. Europe is freedom. We want freedom to be a bridge for peace and not a battlefield. We want change. We are the change. We are the future. Together we will win. Long live European patriots, strong, free and fearless.
Ha detto bene Bardella.
Bardella correctly said, he is a free person, a free man, our captain, the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Infrastructure and Transport, and leader of the Lega, Matteo Salvini.
Grazie.
Thank you.
Grazie, che spettacolo.
Thank you. What of you? Thank you. Also because it is hot, and yet this is an extraordinary day and an extraordinary square. So I will try and be brief. I would like to offer you 3-4 concepts only. You see, we have a number of mayors here today. We have governors, ministers, city councillors, and today There is one who should have been here, but he's not here because he's in Massa. He's the mayor of Massa, and he is in Massa for Giacomo Bongiorni, a father who lost his life. Minutes of silence and an applause for him, for his wife and his child.
Grazie Giacomo e scusaci.
Thank you, Giacomo. We apologize to you as a community because it is unacceptable to die simply because you ask others to be polite and to behave. Today's square is wonderful, extraordinary, peaceful, very determined, with clear ideas based on friendship and loyalty, without fear. The patriots are one big family. You have listened to them. A big hand for all those coming from all over Europe to be here with us this afternoon in this square, on this square. So thanks to all the patriots. One family loses, wins, grows, stands up again. We have seen that in Italy after the no's won at the referendum. We stand more united, even more determined and stronger than before, determined to work together without fearing to work together to accelerate the reforms that are needed for Italians, including the reform for justice, starting from the liability of judges who, as is the case with all the other workers, should pay for their mistakes if they make mistakes. I was thanking mayors earlier on, and I would like to thank the best administrations ever in municipalities, provinces, regions, and Rome. A big hand for the ministers from La Lega who fight like lions and never give up and never stop fighting. And I would like to thank the patriots for recalling 1 month ago the founder of our Lega, and I'm talking about Umberto Bossi. Thank you for cherishing his memory. In Europe, the alliance of the patriots is the only real adversary for the bureaucrats of Brussels working for warmongers. The only hope is you here in defending our workers, the future of our children, our identity. I am with farmers, with tractor drivers, with fishermen, with all those fighting against absurd European norms. Thank you for being with us today. The movement of the patriots is not a political movement, it is a family, it is a community. And in a community, when someone is has a difficulty, then there are thousands of hands coming to help and comforting and helping the person to get up again, to stand up. So I would like us all to give a hand to Viktor Orban, a friend, a patriot. Dear Viktor, you have defended the borders and you have fought against human traffickers and smugglers of weapons. We fight together a battle of legality and honesty. We are here to build, to grow. We have never stopped. There are some from left-wing parties who wanted to prevent thousands of people to meet here to build a future. And we salute the mayor, Sala, and also the so-called social centers who try to do that. I'm from Milan, and being it so, I can tell you that I will commit myself fully to win again the political elections next year, to continue the reforms that we have starting with the autonomy. And I would like to celebrate the 70 years of Minister Calderoli, who decided to celebrate his birthday here with us. I was telling you I'm from Milan. I want to win the elections again, but that will not be sufficient at the national level. I tell you, let's get prepared, because after 15 years of left-wing parties in power, we want to go back governing this city, this province. So we are here to defend work and work opportunities, which is something that the left parties do not do. And I'm talking about farmers, entrepreneurs, and all workers generally. This is the platform of this wonderful square. In Brussels, we wanted to stop that ideological monster which is called the Green Deal, which is not green at all. It is a series of norms and absurd constraints and taxes which are impoverishing the European and Italian companies to the benefit of speculation and of China. We have been obliged to use millions of euros to install recharging stations that are not used, and we cannot help lorry drivers and farmers. We do no longer want the Green Deal. We want people to be able to work and be be given the possibility to work. Now, I would also like to salute the dozens of motorists who are here on this square. Long live our engines, our history, and our tradition. And I'm saying this because I want us all to be clear about the importance of changing Europe. The president of the Association of Industrialists yesterday said something. He's not a sovereignist or an opponent or whatever. I'm talking about Emanuele Orsini. He said that those governing Europe must change, and he is right. The geniuses from Brussels propose to have a new lockdown to fight against the energy crisis. This is the ingenuity of von der Leyen. She wants a new lockdown. We say no. We have had that already. We know what it is. We don't want to close schools and factories and have people without a job. We want to live, we want to study, we want to work. Well, you see, yesterday there was a terrible situation. The European Commission and the International Monetary Fund met. Marziani leading the International Monetary Fund. And I'm quoting, "It has been uncautious that a number of governments, including ours, blocked the increase in prices and decided to curb excise duties on fuel. The European Commission added to that the energy crisis, which derives from a war that we did not want, said that in order to tackle the high prices of energy and food, we should simply turn down the heating, travel less, do not use air conditioners, switch off the lights, and also have less light in our cities and streets. So imagine this is the answer. There is an energy crisis and we want to switch off the light. This is nonsense. Well, Brussels has done even worse than that. There are three things I would say that we can do immediately. One, and this is what the Lega asks for and the government in Italy asks for, and we ask that politely. But if we do not get a positive answer soon, in just a few days, not months, days, we will take action. We ask to suspend the mad rules of a stability pact that are blocking our economy. At an exceptional moment, we need to make brave choices. Suspending the Stability Pact is what we need to do so that the money of Italians should be used to help Italians in trouble. Two, the United States, at this very moment, has suspended until May 16th sanctions that were blocking the trade and purchase of oil from Russia. This is not something that has been done by a small state in former Soviet Union. This is something that the biggest democracy of the world has done. And the good relations between Italy and the United States will continue remaining essential and fundamental, irrespective of personal and temporary situations. I'm saying if Washington does that, then Brussels should follow suit. Instead of locking down schools and factories and hospitals, we should again purchase gas and oil from all over the world, including Russia, since we are not at war with Russia. Tomorrow, I'm sure there are going to be titles in newspapers stating this is what Salvini says, not to help entrepreneurs and families and craftsmen and workers in logistics, but because he's under the influence of Putin. This is a square of free men and women, not subjected to anybody. The only ones who took money from foreign speculators, and I'm not naming names, but in the style of George Soros, are on the left side. Those for sale are there. Those with a price are there. And I will add that Europe and Italy again should be a nuclear power. It is not so that we want to threaten our neighbors with those weapons, but in order to give safe energy to factories, schools, hospitals, homes. I'm not talking about the nuclear program of the Islamic regime of Iran, intending to use it to destroy others. We are not nostalgic of a Ayatollahs who killed 40,000 young opponents in Iran in just a few days, a slaughter of civilians. That is not the nuclear power we want. We want clean nuclear energy, safe nuclear energy, in order to help Italian entrepreneurs to pay less for energy and to be competitive again. This square also asks for something else which is fundamental, which is peace. We ask for peace. not with the flags of the social centers that tried to fight the police today as well. That is the peace of criminals. This square here, in front of one of the most important cathedrals in the world, this square launches an appeal for peace to all governments, to all, so that we can follow the words of Pope Leo. This is a man for peace, of peace. This is a square that wants peace, and not weapons and not war. We should again invest in dialogue and diplomacy and not in weapons and sanctions. Our children should not go into a European army. They don't need that. That has been asked for several times by a sort of sensitive person who I will not therefore comment upon. But of course I'm respectful of institutions, but I am against the European army that President Macron and others want. And dear friends, dear patriots, next year in France we will be closer to the friends who for the first time in history with the parliament and presidential elections will have an historic opportunity to embrace change. So Jordan Bardella, Marie Le Pen, we really hope for the best. And we want Paris from here to hear an applause that comes from here for you. We do not need a European army. We need, though, Europe to help us defending our borders against illegal immigration and Islamic fanaticism. We, the Lega, the Patriots, want to defend our identity, which is generous, which is based on solidarity and Christian values. We want to give priority to immigration coming from nearby countries, countries that are close to us in terms of culture and values, because that would give us a real integration and not chaos. Chaos is what the globalist left needs to pay workers less in factories. The problem is not Islam. The problem is the fact that Islam and the Quran are used to erase centuries of history, rights, and freedom that have been conquered. We are in 2026, and there are some who still maintain, in the name of their religion, that women have fewer rights than men. Well, they are not welcome in Italy and in Europe. Those who still believe today that in the name of their religion, that those of other belonging to other faiths and religions should be killed, well, they are not, though they are not welcome, they should go back to their own country. And I'm about to draw it to a close. The problem is not immigration or the skin color. Here, on this square, we have many patriots coming from all over Italy. And I would like us to give it a hand to those leaving at dawn this morning to be here in Milan. Thank you for paying a ticket, a train ticket, a bus ticket, or driving a car to be here and be a protagonist of this extraordinary day that I'm sure we will watch on TV. It is going to be difficult to erase and cancel you. Make your voice be heard. Let's see whether they can deny your voice. So, here, on the square, as is the case with Italy at large, there are dozens of thousands of men and women from Romania, from Albania, from Morocco, China, and many other nations of the world who are here, abide by the laws, respect our history, our culture, and our traditions. They are welcome. They are our brothers. They are our sisters. The people, these good people, are always welcome. They will find open doors. But for criminals, there is a different standing and statement. They should go back home, out. The remigration does not mean sending people away simply, whoever you meet. No, it means that the residency permit and citizenship are an act of trust. I give you a home, I give you a national health system, I give you aid. You're welcome, but if you make mistakes, as is the case with the driving license, you will be taken away a number of points, and after a next number of points that you have been taken away, you have to go back home. Trust is not forever once you give it. I'm hot here. I can only imagine how hot you must be there. So I'm really concluding, and I do so by thanking you wholeheartedly. This is a wonderful square. This is made of real people. Virtual reality is fine. Artificial intelligence is fine. Social media is nice. The same goes for all the other things that make it possible to meet virtually. But history is made by people who physically get out of their homes and start something together. You are evidence of this. This is a square of protagonists, smiling people, peaceful people, determined, and a big hand also for other workers who today are here, but who are here nicely unarmed, without helmets. Our police forces, our law enforcement forces, the people who risk their lives to save our lives. And I'm proud of the fact that thanks to La Lega, the decree protecting, the security decree protecting more police forces has been approved. This is a square that asks for peace and work and security, but also freedom, which is the most valuable thing. Freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom to dream, freedom to love. Also against the single thought that in Brussels, which is a slave of finance and of wealthy leftists, would like to impose. And Geert Wilders, a great patriot, a great person from, Geert Wilders mentioned this great patriot from Florence, Oriana Fallaci. I also wanted to recall her importance. Her voice will continue speaking to our conscience. Oriana Fallaci, as Leclerc, two patriots for freedom and democracy. Oriana Fallaci wrote, "We live in weak democracies, in lazy democracies, dominated by fear. Fear of thinking, of speaking, of not being aligned. Fear of being free. We live in democracies that are fearful of living courageously. Well, we are fearless. No fear. So, with happiness in my heart, and yet a bit disappointed by the fact that this extraordinary demonstration and thousands of people have been presented by some as a square of racists, of fascists, of Nazis even. And yet I was saying I'm happy that because we managed to be here and we have listened. So long live freedom, long live the free people of this country, long live the patriots in our municipalities and regions, and long live all of the flags in all our regions, from Venice, from Tuscany, Piedmont, Milan, and the Italian flag. Long live the women and men who are free and brave and without fear. Thank you. Long live Lega. Long live the patriots.
Grazie Matteo Salvini! Grazie a questa piazza senza paura!
Thank you to Matteo Salvini. So all European leaders are coming on stage, the ministers and representatives without fear.